Welcome back, everyone, to episode 9 of Miyagi Kai. Big shout out. We got Yoda Joe, pretty much our special guest for the night, since it's his first time on our live stream.
That's true, guys. I am here. I guess I'm kind of a celebrity in this community at this point. I mean, I started this whole thing for a long time. I mean, when we were doing Strike First podcasts and doing a lot of really fun stuff, and now here we are. I had a lot of things I needed to figure out myself, and I really wanted to see Tyrell take the lead on this podcast. When I first started out, I thought of doing it, and then I was like, it doesn't really feel right. I'm not really at a place in the Miyagi-verse where I feel that that was in the right headspace at the time. But Tyrell and Melissa and everyone have been doing an awesome job with what they're doing here, and it's been an honor to just pop in whenever I can. So I'll try to be on as many shows as I'm able to, but I for sure wanted to come on tonight and see what was going on. So thanks for having me, guys. It's great.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on here.
Of course. Thank you for coming in.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to see you as soon as I came on. I'm like, oh, Joe's here, and I'm like, oh yes, tonight should be good.
Yeah.
So and we also have someone else in the chat, CVO.
Yeah,
really?
Good
Yeah,
to see him in the chat.
the Void.
Did not see him.
So we've got a really, really special. Now we're going to continue on from, I think it was episode 5, right?
No, episode 6, because last time we spoke we spoke to each other on Instagram through a phone call. Like we were pretty much talking about
we did.
Episode 6.
Sam and Malin were pretty much on this little scavenger hunt trying to find one of those 10 symbols and artifacts.
Yep.
And then I know. Yeah. I remember us talking about the specific symbols for each character. Like for Sam, it would be, what was it? Like I know for Malin, it's strength,
Now,
courage.
I sent that. I sent you the. I sent you guys all the symbols that I think we should use. In the group chat, solely because of what they represent and how they define each character.
Okay. Let me get that pulled up. What day did you send it?
Let me find out.
Oh, I see one of them.
Yeah. Yep. Hold on. I sent them. Oh, okay. I sent them on Monday.
Yes. And then the first one I see is kind of like a Masumara Sito karate and
the symbol. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The symbol part. Now you know what that means if you look it up.
Mm-hmm.
If you look it up, you'll see why I picked that one for Sam.
Yep, I'm pretty much reading what you said about this symbol, about Sam.
Yeah.
Pretty much get her own headband.
Yeah.
And become her own self.
All three of them, Sam, Axel, and Robbie are going to get each specific headband. Now, can you figure out which one Robbie should get and which one Axel will get?
And it's for Robbie. We're talking like one of these 3 symbols. I think. I mean, one part of me thinks that it's also about the same as Sam, since they're both kind of on the same boat.
They're gonna get each of them are going to get different headband symbols.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be. They're not going to be the same as each other. Well, I should say they're going to be different, but they're same.
Yeah.
The old Miyagi Udo way.
Hmm.
So which one do you think? Now we've already established which one's Sam. Which one do you think Robbie's going to get?
I think it's probably about the same as either Malin's symbol or Miguel's symbol.
If you had to pick though between the lion and the fish, which one would it be for him?
I'd say like the lion.
That's it. That's
Because
the symbol Robbie's going to get.
Because the other symbol I'm looking at that's for Miguel and Axel, it's like this one is more than just strength. It's also courage.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the symbol that Robbie's going to get.
Ooh.
And if you could take a guess which yep, and that means that the Kanoi symbol, which also means perseverance as well as courage, that's Axel.
Yep.
Now, before anyone says anything, the reason why Miguel's not getting a headband is that is because he's proven everything that he needs to prove. He's shown the world what he can do, what he stands for. He doesn't need to show that to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's past that point. I feel like when Johnny gave him his headband, that was all that was the only one that he needed.
Right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
And also too, I've got a really good specific gi design for each of them, and let me know what you guys think.
Okay.
So for Miguel specifically, his new gi design is going to have a bonsai tree on it, but it's going to have like a snake kind of like hugging it.
Ah,
Oh.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
What do you think, Terrell?
Oh, I totally agree.
Part Miyagi and part Cobra. That's pretty cool.
That's a great idea.
Huh. It's interesting.
Underground, I was just reading some really big news that you're going to be very excited about, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Underground, I was just looking at some stuff, and I just got a pretty big update sent to me that you're going to be pretty excited about, Underground.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Well, you know, one of our favorite shows Reacher, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Alan Richardson just posted on X that they just revealed the book that the fourth season is based off, which means they're going to start filming it pretty soon.
Oh, damn.
And he just teased. I'm going to do a video on it tonight, but he just teased that he wrote a little tweet with the book announcement, because the book's going to be based on Lee Child's Gone Tomorrow. And he wrote an exact Reacher quote about it. He says, the thing about subway cars is you step on one, you never know what's going to happen. So I think this confirms, Underground, that we're getting an entire season on a subway.
Oh, damn. I can't wait.
Yeah. I just had to sidebar that for a minute because, dude, so if you don't know about me and Underground are obsessed with this show.
Yeah.
Reacher. Is Joe a Karate Kid fan? Yeah, of course I'm a Karate Kid fan.
Yeah.
Why else would I be into Cobra Kai? Oh, why are you not doing Was there questions? I didn't see questions.
Except for that one, I didn't see any either. But
No,
yeah, Joe's definitely a Karate Kid fan.
if you want to ask us questions, I will read them and we'll answer them. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a huge Karate Kid fan. Nothing beats the original for me. I know a lot of people have the opinion that Karate Kid 2 is great, and it is, but nothing will ever top the original, in my opinion. But I do love Karate Kid 2. I'm even one of those people that likes Karate Kid 3 because Terry Silver, Mike Barnes, you got great stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge Karate Kid fan. If you don't believe I'm a Karate Kid fan, you should check out my channel and watch my Karate Kid movie ranking. It's a really good ranking, just saying. But,
definitely. Yeah.
And then, okay, let's see. So those were just people messing around. Yeah, so go ahead. If you have more, is it Lane? I don't even know how to say that name. Honestly, I want to join the stream because I might back in the Miyagi-verse. It's up to Tyrell, though. Oh, yeah, Chosen. It's always good to hear from you, my friend. And then, Laney, I'm hoping for Iron Dragon spinoffs will last 5 or 6 seasons. I think there's potential for Iron Dragons to last 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Especially if and that would kind of make sense because Cobra Kai was rooted in the story of Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai and even Eagle Fang a little bit. And that lasted 6 seasons. But you can also look at with Iron Dragons, I'll be honest, and I might get smacked for this. I think there's actually, you could do more with Iron Dragons as a dojo than I think you could ever do with Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai. Because
they're new characters,
more and other characters that we don't know. So absolutely span as many seasons as you want exploring this rich lore and heritage because I think that would be incredible. Like I really do think, like I've seen people talk about Iron Dragons. I think 5 or 6 seasons sounds pretty perfect to me.
Oh yeah,
mystery, Joe, mystery. What do you mean mystery? What are you talking about, mystery, Chosen?
Oh, speaking of the Iron Dragons, me and Joe saw this awesome fan-made Iron Dragons picture.
Spin-off.
Hanjo.
Cobra Kai was was Johnny's story. And Iron Dragon spinoff will be Wolf's story. Agreed. I think
honestly, I mean, in all honesty, these are the spin-offs that I hope we get. Mr. Miyagi prequel series. I mean, it's not really a spin-off, it's more of a prequel because, Mr. Miyagi exploring his life. Iron Dragons, Sam and Miguel in Okinawa, Robbie and Tori, the Anthony, Kenny, and Devin story, and potentially on potentially I would say maybe. I mean, it'd be hilarious. Not potentially. And I forgot. Binary Brothers, but potentially, it would be funny if we got this. I don't see it lasting long, but imagine a Stingray spinoff.
That'd be hilarious.
Wonderful.
That's what I'm saying.
Just imagine a Stingray creating like having his own show and creating his own Cobra Kai dojo. Pretty much like running one of the Cobra Kai dojos.
I think that's kind of what I feel like that's kind of what's planned. I can also see that happening.
What?
A Stingray, like when they talked about it at the end of season 6, with Stingray doing something like that, I think it makes sense. Like I think him having his own kind of Cobra Kai dojo. To be honest, I'll be real with this, and I know people might not think that there's potential for this, but even though he's such a good comedic character, I see potential. Oh, you're pulling up the scripts. I
Yeah.
see potential for an actual, like, I don't know if it's a show because it'd be hard to do a show, but I think a movie where, because we get good comedy movies all the time, right?
Hmm.
I don't think you need that deep of lore or crazy stuff, but like just a fun popcorn flick of Stingray, kind of like how all the iconic Johnny moments we got in the first season of Johnny showing his version of Cobra Kai. Imagine just like a 2-hour movie of Stingray trying to teach these kids his
Oh my
version of Cobra
God.
Kai and them not
Uh-huh.
listening to him and just
And beating him up.
yep. I would
Um,
I would definitely watch that. I think that'd be great.
So,
Funny
Oh,
ass fuck.
CBO.
oh,
Probably
I mean,
my
that's
PlayStation.
Who
yeah.
gives a shit about your PlayStation?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your
CBO. CBO. I mean, yeah, that's understandable for them to be mixed about the Miyagi prequel, but I think it could work. I mean, as long as they don't do like CGI, if they get like the actor that they had play Mr. Miyagi in Daniel's Dream, it could work. To play the younger Mr. Miyagi, it could definitely work.
I mean, if they weren't going to bring him back, why hire him on for just that part?
Right, that's what I mean. It's like they've been dipping so they dipped so heavily into the Mr. Miyagi, and the fact that they never explained how like about him killing his opponent, that says it all. We're getting it. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that Chosen and Kim spinoff's also definitely possibility.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's still going to happen.
Yeah. So like I said, Mr. Miyagi prequel, Iron Dragons, Sam and Miguel, in Okinawa, Robbie and Tori, touring the world, spreading karate, Chosen and Kim, Anthony and Devin and Kenny. Those are all spinoffs. And the Binary Bros spinoff. Those are all spinoffs. We're without a doubt more than likely going to get.
Yep.
Agreed.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, Sam continues now we discussed how we wanted this to go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we pretty much been talking about it. Like we pretty much left off with, Malin telling Sam about her dark past and why how she's pretty much gone over it now.
Yeah. So now we need to discuss how they're going to find those 3 symbols. And they're going to be the 3 symbols that I sent you guys, right?
Yep. Where Sam is
Okay.
pretty much that symbol that represents the
Now
like,
that's going to be the hardest one that's going to be able for them to get to.
for Sam.
For Sam and Malin, that's because they're going to get it together.
Yep. Oh, especially with Sam and Malin working together, it's going to be even harder.
Yeah. So Joe, this is where you come in to help us with the ideas on how they could find these symbols.
Yeah. So we're looking for these symbols.
Yeah.
I wonder what the Robbie and Tori spinoff will be titled. Yeah, that's a good point. I think we don't yet know that. I mean, I feel like there could be a lot of things they could call it. I was kind of hoping something like
the Baddies of Karate.
Yeah, that would be cool. I was thinking something like, since they were both in Cobra Kai, it would have been cool to have like King and Queen Cobra or something, since she was the Queen Cobra. That would have been something cool. But I'm sure they'll come up with something amazing. The creators are terrible. They aren't. These should be what?
Well,
really?
really?
That's an interesting take.
I mean, listen. Everybody's entitled to a screw up now and then, but you can't also put it all on the big 3. The writers are responsible, even more responsible than the big three are. Don't forget, and also Netflix and Sony too.
Yeah, true. Melissa's got a point there. Yeah, no. So with the symbols, I feel. I'm trying to think how to explain this. So with each of the symbols, um, each character needs to find a way, I think a meaningful way, and also having their own kind of quests and journey to go and find those symbols.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's just Sam and Maylin.
Well, then Sam and Maylin, they should be tested in ways that they haven't been tested before.
Right.
And we know that we pretty much talk about like how Malin will be fine going after the will be finding the symbol that represents, the strength symbol. So want to know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking
What?
that when Malin and Sam does get close to the symbol, they will see like the symbol buried halfway under the ground, and then when Malin sees it, she thinks of trying to dig it out with a shovel, which Sam kind of tries to talk her out of it, but Malin wants Stack to get to dig up the symbol out the easy way. But as she does it, she notices
Right.
how the sand is kind of solid, so kind of a little bit too hard to dig up, and that's when the shovel snaps, and boom, Malin is going to be forced to actually, I take that back. You know where that symbol is going to be, under a heavy rock.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep, but then
That'd
Malin
still
will
be a good
still-
test for them.
Malin
That'd be
will
a
have
good
to
one.
use a shovel to. Malin will try to use a shovel to lift the rock, but it snaps, and then Malin will be forced to
What
rely
if we
on
did
her own
something?
strength.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
What if we did something where I just been thinking a little bit more about this, and sometimes there's more to things than meet the eye, right?
Right.
And we're expanding the Miyagiverse in ways that other people like. Remember, this is our version of it, and it's
Right.
not. And the creators can take what ideas they want, but they might not do what we do. But I had a cool idea that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. I know you guys are so focused on the symbol and like the headbands and how it means, but I just came up with this idea that if we're gonna go looking for these symbols, what if there's a bigger meaning for these symbols, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Cobra
For
Kai,
sure.
we saw so much focus on the actual fighting skills, and then only occasionally weapons, right?
Right.
What if when each character is tested and finds these symbols, they're given a weapon with almost like a mystical connection to their symbol?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was
Yeah.
something
I
I was
love that,
thinking
Joe.
about. That
Yeah.
was something I
love
was
that.
thinking. It would just make something very different and feel very personal, I feel. And so
Yeah.
what if kind of when Maylin tries to find her symbol, what if like I liked Tyrell's idea about the snapping, but here's what I thought about like the stone breaking. What if you had something where it's kind of like the sword in the stone, where the item that she is supposed to be connected to, she hasn't achieved what she needs. So it's almost like Thor's hammer, where she's not worthy yet, but eventually she will be. So then it's like she's struggling because she's evil and she's got all these things, but there's a piece of the puzzle that she's missing and she doesn't have it. So then she keeps trying to pull it out, and whatever the weapon ends up being, and then she can't grab it because she's not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
a good
Sam,
idea.
But once Sam passes her trial, it's like child's play for her. Like she just, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So what I was thinking though too is like what if when she tries to pull that symbol out, like you said, under like a rock or something like a cement, like what if she causes a rock slide?
That could happen.
Mm.
and like they're forced to help each other, like what if like Maylin like gets like stuck or something and this huge rock is like headed straight for her, and Sam now has to like kind of like really she's faced with the choice, either take the symbol and leave, and leave, or she loses the symbol but helps Maylin.
Ooh.
So she chooses to help Maylin. She helps her get out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
And
Well, right choice
this
for
will of
her.
course be for the strength symbol, right?
Yeah.
So
And we
I'm
also,
curious. I'm curious. Like, I also want to ask, like, since this is about strength for Malin, like how in a way will it show Malin's strength? Like when she's being rescued by Sam.
I think it's like for her, it'll be like accepting that she can't do it alone, like she can't do it by herself. Like sometimes that takes a lot, like we're not like looking for, like, don't forget, not everything in the Miyagi verse is what it seems. So sometimes the message isn't always what you think it is. Sometimes sometimes it's more like it's not the physical strength, but more of the more of the more of the compassion strength, the strength of compassion. You know what I mean? Like what's in
Yeah.
your the strength that you have inside of you.
I mean, strength comes in a lot of different ways and forms.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why Maylin doesn't get the symbol, is because she's trying to use physical strength. She thinks it's physical strength when it's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think like it doesn't go like with what we talked about earlier, um, in regards to the symbols before we started the stream. That's why it doesn't work for her, for her, the way that it the way that the way one would think it would.
Yep.
And that's why it makes sense. What do you
Yeah.
think, Joe? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
Like she gets the symbol, but she gets it by accepting Sam's help.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because once again, Malin is trying to prove prove that she can do things on her own without Sam or anybody's help. But ultimately, she's gonna see that she needs it.
Yep.
And I do think upon Malin learning that she will eventually learn how to work with Sam, and they will be able to find those and get those symbols.
Yeah. Yep. Now we know which symbol is which. So now for the other symbol, the courage symbol. Where do you think, Joe? Where do you think they should have that symbol?
Courage. It should be in a situation where where whoever is looking for it has to do something brave to earn
Right.
that courage.
Right.
That would be my best question.
So what about finding that, what if that symbol's in like a raging rapids?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking somewhere in the water, like a bodies of water.
Yeah. What do you
What
think,
if you
Joe?
made it where like it's water, but it's like it's very dangerous because maybe the water where they're at has some sort of animal in it that could be considered dangerous.
Yeah.
Or
And
it's like it's rapids, like
yeah, rapids
where,
can happen too.
yeah.
Either way, I think you could be looking at that in a different light.
Yeah. So
The
now what
rapids
could
are
they
beautiful.
do like that's really courageous?
Saving someone in the rapids.
Yeah.
You know what? Kind of know what I'm thinking. After if Sam were to be the one to save Malin when they're trying to go after the strike symbol, what if we flip the script and Malin is the one that actually saves Sam?
Save Sam. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That
Like,
could happen.
what if
That's what I
in
was
the
thinking,
the
too.
rapids kind of like take Sam, and like it just like when it looks like Malin's gonna leave her, she does
Right.
something heroic, and she was able to get her pulled out
Right.
at the last second, with even surprising even Sam, who like thought she was gonna leave her.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And just kind of thinking about it for a minute, I feel like whether or not they do get their hands on these symbols, I really think these symbols are actually there for Sam and Malin to really connect, to really bond and connect with each other. That they are stronger when they work together. I think that's what
Yeah,
this whole journey is going to be about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the honor symbol, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking like I think the honor symbol should be like the most difficult to get to.
Hmm.
I was thinking about the same thing there, Melissa.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And I think it should be like, like that like that mountain, like Daniel and Jessica were climbing down up and down on in Karate Kid 3.
Yep.
And like Mr. Miyagi kind of like put the bonsai tree like not like in between the mountain, like in between both the bottom of the mountain and the top of it. Well, what if that's where what if that's where the honor symbol is?
Yeah. I think you probably did tell me this one time.
What do you think, Joe?
I think that's possible.
Or do you have
I,
or do you have a better idea of where that honor
I
symbol
like your
could be?
guys' idea.
Okay.
I
Now
like
how
yours.
could that how could that like for honor, how could that work? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You would have to do something where, in order to achieve honor, maybe honor could be either you're honoring someone or you as a person has a very strong value of honor and you value honor more than anything else.
Right. How could we
Mhm.
set that up though in that scene?
We'd have to show a way to prove that the character truly had honor.
Yeah, it would have to be done in a way where Sam pretty much lives up to one of Mr. Miyagi's biggest lessons.
I like that idea. I think that idea
Yeah.
would work brilliantly.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, except I'm right now I'm thinking about like what important lesson Sam honors. What important lesson Sam lives up to. That's what I'm thinking about
Yeah.
right now.
How about what if she lived up to what if we brought back, because we've talked about how we're going to add Sam is going to get some new styles in this show, right?
Right?
Here's an idea. What if we brought back the lesson? Hey, how's it going, Jake? What if we brought back the lesson of the original Karate Kid, where Daniel is so sure of his skills, right?
Right?
Mr. Miyagi takes him fishing, and we have Sam learn a lesson like she fights an opponent that's more skilled than her, right?
Right?
Yep.
And
Right?
it reminds her, and then this is where we could have something like, I don't know, we talked about like all the characters that could come in, but we could have a scene, not necessarily a cameo in the show, because I don't think it would make sense for him to be in the timeline, but imagine there's a cut scene from Cobra Kai somewhere, maybe like a prelude after Cobra Kai had happened, right?
Mhm.
And before Sam went off to Okinawa, she had a moment with Daniel, right? And
Right.
Daniel gave Sam advice. And the advice that Daniel gave Sam in this moment was like, what do I do when I'm backed in the corner? What do I do when I find out, like, I'm so confident in my skills, and I know that I as long as I'm strong and confident that I can't be beat. And then Daniel kind of speaks some wisdom into her, and then needs to be like, no, but the thing you need to understand, Sam, is sometimes someone always know more. And so then you could bring that lesson forward into Sam faces a very worthy opponent, and that could drive her into wanting to learn something like Kung Fu, realizing Miyagi-Do karate isn't enough. This opponent is so strong, I don't know how I can beat them with what I already know.
Mm.
So I think a lesson
Yeah.
like that would be cool. And then she's honoring both the advice her father gave her, but also what Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good idea.
Mm. Yeah.
I think that is a good idea.
Yeah. I like
So-
it.
Yeah. So like, so like,
Hello, Drew.
so like, what? So like, what if like when they try to get the what if they try to get when they try to get the symbol, they get ambushed?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then Sam goes up, and Malin goes up against this very mysterious fighter who is pretty much kind of a powerhouse and kind of unpredictable, as Sam has never fought someone like that before.
And I have an idea for that I wanted to talk to you guys about, that I've been thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you guys have built up Mei Ling as Sam's rival, right?
Right.
But I think it's important for Sam because of how the writers have handled Sam in previous seasons. Other than Tori, Sam's never really faced a challenge that really is really over. Because I feel like Sam and Tori, they had their issues, and there's a lot of stuff that went through. But you could never really feel like, even though in some ways Sam's stronger than Tori, but in other ways Tori's is stronger than Sam. But
Right.
I don't think Sam has ever fought someone that completely outranks her skills.
No.
And
Yeah.
judging by the time gap, I was thinking about this because it's something we all wanted to see in Cobra Kai that we were robbed of, because they had to build the rivalry so much with Tori, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. I want to get you guys' take on this. I know we all love Sam, but remember how I talked to Melissa a long time ago that with Axel gone, well, Wolf will try to get a new student. He's going to have to, the students he has for a while, he's going to have to put more stake in Zara than what he did in
Yeah.
Axel.
Yep.
And so I was thinking about this. Because he doesn't have an Axel that can ruin things anymore, and he has to focus all his energy in Zara, what if he's able to turn Zara into someone that is not a social media crybaby, is not someone that won't shut up, but a dangerous, ruthless weapon that, if pointed at the right person correctly, it could be catastrophic. And what if we had all this whole thing in the second Taika, we're like, oh my gosh, because I feel Tori and Zara's rivalry, it wasn't necessarily that Zara's stronger than Tori. It's that Tori wasn't in the right mindset, and Zara has skills, but Zara was just an annoying gnat to Tori.
Yeah.
I want Sam, as someone who has been a very experienced fighter in the show, to feel like she has someone that she should legitimately be kind of a little terrified of.
Yeah. So I'm all for it being Zara.
I think it should be Zara. Like, I know we've always talked about, like we've talked about in the past, that Zara could beat Sam in the beginning, and we thought it wouldn't be a contest. But I think that was when we were thinking of, like,
You mean Sam beating Zara?
Yeah, in that like Cobra Kai era, back when we were looking at the current version of Zara that was presented in front of us. But if we got a stronger Zara, one that has been more focused, more dangerous, I think it could happen. I think she could definitely lose to Zara.
Yeah.
And I think that would make things interesting. Because it would definitely make a very interesting rivalry, and it would give Sam something unique.
Yeah, it would. It really would. That's a good idea, and it's like.
And one of the reasons why I like that idea too is I think it's important with these spinoffs. I talked about how Wolf is going to be front and center, but even if he changes his dojo, I want Wolf's people that remain to be loyal to Wolf. I want them to take just as much as center stage as Wolf does. And one thing I think that the big three should capitalize on in these spinoffs, I want to see a day, because we didn't get that much time of them in Cobra Kai season 6, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I really want to see Iron Dragons viewed as a threat that is far more severe than any of the previous generations of Cobra Kai. We're like, not just the students, but as a dojo, as a threat. I want it to escalate to a point where it gets to like, this is not just a dojo where like with Cobra Kai, you know, we win a tournament, we can take out Cobra Kai, we can beat up Kreese, we can beat up Silver, and we can end this. That's not how you deal with Iron Dragons.
No.
And I think that could be such an interesting conflict for the future. Kind of give us that end game feeling of like, we have this very dangerous dojo that we have no idea how to fight. We've united all our dojos, and even with all our might, even with our combinations of Eagle Fang, merging Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai together, it's not enough. Because
no.
And I just want to see that. I want to see the Miyagi-verse rise with a new threat that's going to make us like, we'll always respect the past, but I want to see a new future. I want to see something that makes it where we can't solve our problems by gaining all these trophies on a mat and just calling it good. Where it can get ugly and it can go to the street and it can be a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so how should we like when this happens, how should we like introduce them? Like
Well,
we got
Zara?
Zara, and
Well, with Zara, like even whether or not she does appear in our show, I think like she'll appear like pretty like later. Like I don't think she'll be in this episode now, and because I'm thinking that one of the fighters will be kind of like a new antagonist. Maybe not the biggest antagonist, but this will be a mysterious fighter like from a dojo that Sam has never seen or heard of.
Well, I think it's important for Sam, being that this is her show, for her to have multiple rivals and to build the threats, because she lacked so many other rivals. When you look at even in Cobra Kai, you have all our main characters pretty much shared a rivalry with Kyler, and then Kyler just became a joke, and then there was other rivals in between people. But Sam, other than Tori, which her rivalry turns into a friendship, Sam deserves to have real rivalries as a character.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Real people that are dangerous, real people that not necessarily it ends in sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that Tori and Sam are skipping through the valley like it's Oz, like Yellow Brick Road.
They're not going to be like gossiping about boys unless it's their boyfriends.
Yeah, it's not that kind of relationship, but it's still like, I feel like because we built up that rivalry and it did have its moments, but it felt like it was missing something.
Yeah.
I always felt like Tori and Sam's rivalry was kind of more focused on, at first it seemed it was about the boyfriends. Then it was like, I don't like you, LaRusso. Even though your parents are helping me, I don't like you, LaRusso. Like, it just kind of felt like it was a lack of understanding. And that's why I felt so bad in season 6, because even though she had a rival in the dojo brawl, they just didn't really do enough with it. No. And I really wish that they would have given. I still really stand by what I said, and I've told Maria a number of times. I really think Maria should have been Sam's first true rival, so that we could have sprungboard into this show. Even though she's going to foot with Dimitri, there should have been something where like Maria was kind of written like she's kind of snooty and like uptight, and Sam comes around like, oh, my family's rich and this and just kind of they feel threatened to each other. And I think that would have been great. But now with this spinoff, we have the opportunity to kind of give that experience of like even seeing from the beginning of not only like rivalries, but like Sam's kind of new to Okinawa. So what if like when she comes to Okinawa in the beginning of the show, even though she's out of high school now, there's still very real threats out there. What if it kind of starts that Sam kind of gets not necessarily bullied in the same like the same high school sense, but bullied in the sense of like, oh, you know, you're an outsider, you're not welcome here. Like,
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm
all our
thinking.
characters, because all our characters have been away. Our main characters that were from Okinawa have been away from Okinawa so much they don't know what has changed in this time. Like, there could have been a lot new things happen. Because I think people forget that other than going back and forth to go find out what was going on with Kimiko, Chosen, get a drink real quick. Chosen has been away from Okinawa for a fairly long time. So new power could have risen, new threats could have rose. Like there's a lot of stuff that could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, just look at when Daniel and Miyagi in Karate Kid 2. Chosen didn't happen and get that way by accident. Like
Wow.
we all talk about him like he's this great
It was
master,
also, you know.
but when we first were introduced to him, he was a real thorn in everyone's side. Like he was a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like you could do something like that with these other characters, even if it was just nameless characters that just started out just causing problems for Sam.
Yeah.
And I kind of had the idea of like, what if when Sam and Miguel first get to Okinawa, what if both of them are kind of feeling the pressure of like everything that's going on around them? Like Sam's so excited to Okinawa, but one of the best things about being a writer is you make a character. We ended Cobra Kai in such a happy place.
Right.
One of being a writer is to take a character from literally 0 to 100, right? Like,
Yeah.
going like, oh my gosh, okay, well, Sam's so happy right now. No, yoink, we're gonna take that away, just like right
Yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so I think that's part of the fun.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree, Joe, because like if you really think about it, like pretty much like when after Daniel beat Johnny in the first movie, like in the second movie when he fought Chosen, Mr. Miyagi reminded him that it's not a tournament. It's real. It's for real. It's real life.
Yeah.
And then like it's pretty much the same thing, same path Sam is kind of heading down towards because unlike anything she has experienced back in like her high school years in the Valley, she's pretty much going up against real threats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And it could be anything from like people trying to steal her purse or like it could be anything. Okinawa is not like it's not the safe place that people pretend it is.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
We're pretty much
So,
going to discover
one
very
thing,
dark things about
like, what if,
Okinawa.
and like, what if one of the people actually kicks Sam off, like off the cliff, and like she's barely like she finds a way to latch on to, and to latch on, and she holds on for like, and she like holds on, and like she's able to find her footing again. She's able to get a good grip, and she sees, and as she's like holding on, and like as she's trying to regain her balance and focus, she sees the symbol.
That could happen. I like that idea. That also brought up a good point that I was just thinking about, and I wondered what you guys thought about this.
Yeah.
Now, it was always going to be a big thing when the writers had decided in season 6 that, because in Cobra Kai, other than Okinawa, and not all our characters went to Okinawa, we almost never left the valley, right? So when we all abrupted our lives to go compete in the Sekai Taikai and go, and Miyagi Kai or Miyagi-Do and / Cobra Kai went to go to Barcelona, right? So that I thought long and hard about that on rewatch really bothered me. Barcelona to me felt like too safe of a place when we went to go visit. Like obviously we're there for a tournament, but there's all these different dojos here, walking in the streets at night, We're staying in these hotels. And I know Spain, as someone who works in the airport, yeah, Spain is a nice place. It has nice romantic aspects to it. It has a lot of great things. But everywhere in the world that has really good things also has really dangerous things.
Yeah.
And I kind of got let down when the writers said that, there would be a lot of turmoil for our characters in Barcelona. And I didn't quite feel like that was met in the way that it could have been met. Like, I feel like we needed, yes, we got a lot of tournament related stuff, but and yes, we did get the stuff where Sam technically got jumped by the Korean Cobras outside, but it didn't happen enough. And then there's the stuff at the bar, and it just didn't happen enough that I feel like if we're in these new cities, these new environments, new threats, new dangers, new things are going to emerge, and I feel like we need to see more of that.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely agree. I mean, listen, I know we haven't done a lot of writing, but we're doing a lot of talking. So even if we don't get to the writing part of it today, we definitely got some ideas for Tuesday.
Well, you guys are just writing notes, right? That gives you a lot of
Yeah.
notes for you guys to discuss.
I mean, what I can probably do outside of this stream is maybe jot down those ideas we talked about, and maybe come back here and see what you guys think of it, and we can pretty much add more ideas if we need to.
Well, that's what I mean. For Tuesday, right? For when we come back here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Since
I
we're
think
doing that,
I think we do it. What were we saying, Tyrell? Sorry.
No, you're good. But since we're doing that, I'm also thinking if we have enough time, maybe we can. Maybe right now, since we pretty much talked about how Sam and Malin are gonna, get those symbols and how they're gonna, really develop their character arcs in this spin-off throughout this episode and spin-off. I'm kind of thinking maybe we could even talk about what we can expect from episode 7, so we have ideas for that episode if we do get to writing that episode next Tuesday.
I feel that episode 7 should be only focused on Miguel.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. And I'm thinking we should focus kind of a little bit more on the bond between Miguel and maybe Mateo.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
That's a good one.
Or maybe even Sensei Lin, since Miguel is with Sensei Lin right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe Sensei Lin, Miguel, and Mateo.
Yeah, if those two bump into Mateo.
Because we want to establish Mateo's character.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we can pretty much talk about how Miguel and Sensei Lin kind of connect closer, and maybe what Miguel does to show his strength and courage in that episode.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to do something very badass.
Yeah. And maybe he runs into some of those to some of those guys that are not or maybe he runs into other people who are part of that same dojo that try to attack Sam and Maylin.
Yeah.
Only for Mateo to come and help him, and Sensei Lin.
Oh, what if he ran into some of Chosen's old friends from the second movie?
Oh, you never thought about that. We never talked about Chosen's old henchmen friends that assisted him in tormenting and trauma and terrorizing.
Yo, that'll be sick.
But what do you
that.
think, Joe?
Ooh.
What do you
That's
think?
a pretty cool idea. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that.
Because we know what happened with Mike Barnes' henchmen, Dennis and Snake.
Yeah.
but like we never heard about what happened with Chosen's henchmen.
Yeah.
Since we are in Okinawa, so we could dive into that too.
Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, so I'm thinking somewhere along those lines. Now there has to be a reason why they would go after why these guys would we have to come up with a reason that
Yeah.
that these guys would go after them.
Yeah, kind of like at least we should be kind of be talking about this episode itself for now, because like I'm pretty because like whatever we have to like the very reasoning behind them attacking
Yeah.
Miguel and Sensei Lin and Mateo. I think that's gonna be we're we're gonna be getting to that like kind of like later in the show. Like it's gonna be a little bit far away. So yeah,
Okay.
if you know what I
So
mean.
Yeah.
like what you know what I was thinking though too. You know what I was thinking too. Like what if as the person like okay, so like what if these guys what if Sam and Maylin are like accused of taking something. Like what if they like Sam and Maylin find these like these ropes to help them climb down the mountain and they just assumed that their teacher left it for them because that's where the symbol might be, like for the mountain. It's and like Joe, what do you think?
I think that's possible.
And
It
like
just
what if
depends.
what if one of the guys like as they like as they kick Sam off that mountain, like what if they try to what if they rip off what if they rip off Sam's octopus necklace,
Oh
and
boy.
like as Sam is clinging down the mountain, the person just smiles and dangles the necklace right out from her, and she said thanks for the lovely parting gift or something like that. Thanks for the lovely parting gift or something.
Yeah, like let's be for real. Like, if whoever does that, I think that's gonna really piss off Sam.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure how it would play out, but something like that would piss off anybody, especially like that necklace means a whole lot to her since Miguel gave that to her.
Yeah. Yep. Joe, what do you think? Do you like that idea or?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Although, like, the only thing I'm wondering is like, since this we're talking about like the honor symbol, like what do you think, like if they were to take her octopus necklace, how do you think Sam is gonna honor one of Mr. Miyagi's important lessons?
Uh, I'm thinking like when she has the like when I'm thinking like when she climbs back up, like she has the honor symbol in her hand, and she puts or she had or like she like unknowingly to Mei Lin, we know she has the honor symbol, but like when she had and when she fights the person that took that necklace off of her, she has the opportunity to finish her off, to kick her off the mountain, but she doesn't. Like she instead she instead knocks him out. And like Malin just kind of like witnesses it and like in awe, like, Sam had an opportunity to finish this person off, but she chose not to.
Oh yeah, yes, like
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 she
I can,
literally chose not to. She could have. She could see it in her eyes, but she chose not to.
hmm like I could kind of see this going down where some of Sam's darker energy is triggered, and she ultimately does take that person down, but she ultimately chooses honor and mercy over
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
think that could work out.
over finishing that person off, or even worse, killing him.
Yeah.
hmm
I could see
Because
that.
even though like I think that person could be a solid fighter, I think like Sam at her absolute peak would demolish him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
especially when you piss her off and channel her
Yeah.
darker energy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Even though I haven't written that down, I'm actually excited about that
Yeah.
idea.
I think that I think we've come up with a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, we did.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Joe,
So
will you
far,
be able
so
to join
good.
us on Tuesday or?
We'll see. It depends on what time it is.
Well, if it like, what if it's like 9:45 my time, and which would be 8:45 your time.
Possibly.
Yeah, because like I know like today's Thursday, and then I pretty much done it like 8ish in my time.
Yeah.
Because like I'm thinking some weeks I'm gonna do this like these live streams like Tuesday and Thursday, since those are the only days that that I am free, and
Right.
since and may allow us to write 2 episodes each week to kind of catch up a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like
Sure.
because possibly like if we do wrap up like this with the amount of episodes we have left in season one, like we could potentially wrap up like around the end of this month, then before we move on to season two.
Yeah.
How many episodes
Like
do you think about
definitely on
doing?
Tuesday, we're definitely going to be finished with episode 5. We're definitely going to be
Six.
finished with episode 5.
Oh, so it's
Yes.
actually
Well, yeah,
episode 6.
6. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, because we haven't finished episode 5 yet, but I mean, like, I'm actually after having to start getting ready to head out soon because it's getting kind of late where I am.
Yeah.
Um, so I
Yeah,
was
I'm
thinking
gonna head
like
out
maybe we could
too.
finish
Same here.
so I was thinking like we could finish episode 5 and and dive into episode 6 on Tuesday, if that's okay with you, with you, Tyrell.
Yeah.
Now
Totally.
that we have an idea, and Joe, hopefully you'll be able to join us so you can help, like get these ideas in order. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if we what time would it if you could join us, like what time would be good for you on Tuesday?
Well, let's see. Tuesday's going to be kind of tough because it depends what time my podcast is going to run till.
Right. And you normally start at like what, 4 o'clock your time?
Yes.
How long do you normally run it for?
It depends on if the topics are good and there's a lot of stuff to talk about and we have good stuff happening, then it could go longer potentially.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if I were to
Would
start
you?
later, like pretty much like as late as like 8 or 8:30 in my time, then it is possible that you might be able to come on if you happen to be done
Yeah.
with your live streams and your
I mean,
videos.
like, so what if we did like 9:30 my time, 8:30 your time?
Possibly.
Would that be good? Would that be good time?
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, so let's try shooting for that, okay?
Yep.
So
Sounds good
9:30
to
my
me.
time, 8:30 Joe's time, which would be uh what, 7:30 your time, Tyrell?
Yeah, 7:30 in my time zone.
Okay, so let's try doing that. All right. Well, this was a great. We got a lot of great ideas. Now next week we're going to be writing them down,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and now we may not finish episode 6 when we on Tuesday, but we'll at least be enough into it where we've got a good start on it.
And actually,
know what
just
I
to
mean?
remind you one more time, we're actually on episode 6.
Oh, duh.
No, but yeah, I probably mentioned
I'm
that like before,
sorry.
but no, it's all good.
It's a little confusing. Sorry, it's a little bit confusing, but yeah, you're right. You're right. This is episode 6.
Because
So
like remember,
episode 7.
we ended episode 5 with with that Axel cliffhanger.
Yeah, duh, yeah.
But it's all good.
Sorry about that. But yeah, so episode yeah. So episode 6, we'll definitely be ending episode 6 on Tuesday and dive in a little bit to episode 7.
And
Where
possibly finish episode 7 on next Thursday. Maybe dive in a little bit into episode 8
yeah.
next
Yep.
a week from now.
Yep. Definitely.
And I'm kind of thinking like for these final episodes, definitely expect things to get a lot more intense and more darker because
Yeah.
all I can say is there's definitely going to be kind of a mega fight.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Can't wait.
And also too, we've got to come up with a really good viable reason as to why these guys are attacking Sam and Maylin.
Yep, and all of them.
Yeah, but specifically like for this episode, Maylin and Sam.
Yeah, episode 6 will be Malin and Sam, and then episode 7 will be Miguel, Sensei Lin,
Right.
and
But there's got
Mateo.
to be like a reason. We gotta like set up a really good reason.
Yep.
So that's our thinking process this week. Like, what good reason would they have for going after Sam and Maylin?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was really great. This was really, really, really super great.
It sure
Yeah.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joe, do you have any ideas on why they could be going after Sam and Maylin? Don't.
I'll have to continue to think of it. I don't have anything yet.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I have I have I have this idea.
What?
Okay.
Okay, what if Sam and Maylin go to a bar, right?
A bar?
Right?
Yeah. And this bar has a ice breaking challenge, just like in Karate Kid 2.
Interesting.
I mean, well, that is interesting, but I think it's something like.
And then one of the henchmen has a flashback of some kind. Yeah. How about that?
I mean, I like the idea, but at the same time, though, this has got to be like Sam's moment. Like it shouldn't be like based off of her father's moment. Like this
Yeah.
is like it's got to be like. So I was thinking like, what if? Like what if like what if as they're like walking into the woods or something, a car kind of like pulls up and almost runs them over or something, and like I don't know, they get into it a little bit, like a verbal, like like they swerve to avoid hitting them, but they like sort of like crash their car into the tree, and they get into like a verbal like disagreement, like or something, or a verbal like they just come at them Sam and Malin verbally, and like it's like it's like it's, they all parties just like accuse each other of like causing the accident or something, and maybe like things she pulls like maybe she like pulls a Sam like pulls a Miyagi move, and that like like how like Mr. Miyagi did with the bottles when when those guys were placing like bottles on his car, and he kind of like broke them in half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what if something similar to that, and that like just like really ticks them off,
Oh,
It could happen.
You have to come up with a really good
All right, this
you
is
have to
the
maybe
time,
maybe
guys.
more expand it.
I'm gonna head out because I'm gonna go work on my videos. But
Yeah.
great
I'm gonna
meeting you. Thank you.
head out too.
yeah. I think
Same
I'm
here.
gonna
About to head to bed.
Yeah.
end things here as well.
Yeah. All right. This was really great.
It's probably the best stream, considering that Joe came on. But yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait
Yep.
to discuss more next week.
Definitely.
But yeah,
All right.
well, you guys have a good night. Thanks for coming
You
on.
too.
You too.
Absolutely.
You have a great night, y'all.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
we could probably even
Terrell,
talk over Instagram.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but
Yep.
see
All
ya.
right.
I have a safe night,
Bye.
y'all.
You too.